We interrupt this program with a special report.
I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land. So sit tight and bend an ear.
Welcome back, everyone, to another week of the Manga Monday Show. I'm Ben, and I'm with my co-host, as always,
Edgar.
Welcome back, Edgar.
Hey,
Welcome back.
welcome back, League of Weebs. We're here. Remember when we were going to call our podcast that name?
Oh, were we?
No, yeah. It was an actual contender.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know if it was
man.
a contender, if it was like a joke contender.
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't know.
League of Weebs, the anime podcast, or just the manga show, right?
Yeah, I think the big one was the manga show. Yeah,
But you said it was taken or something
yeah.
like
I
that.
said that there was already one that was like that. Yeah,
And then I think the other one was like, what was it called? The Greatest Shonen.
oh, the Greatest Shonen. Yes,
Yeah,
that was a big one. That was
Yeah.
actually we were thinking of.
Because we were like joking, we were clowning on The Greatest Showman for like a good like month, and then we were
Yeah.
like, when we were coming up with the podcast, we were like, yeah, how about The Greatest Shonen,
yeah.
like Shonen Jump?
Yeah.
And we thought like big brain move. That's like the
Yeah.
best name ever.
Yeah, listen, this is how the intro would have gone. This is the Greatest Shonen. Welcome back, everyone, to another week of the Greatest Shonen. Two dudes who know everything about Shonen Jump and know nothing about the Greatest Showman. We've never watched it. We've
Yeah.
never seen it. So
And like, because we were like in our heads, like we do like a parody of the song, like "Ladies and gents, this is the moment you're waiting for," and then just be us talking about anime and manga, like leading up to nothing. Like,
yes, 1,000,000,000%. But yeah, Edgar, how was your week? What have you been up to?
I've been up to, man, what have I been up to? Just like a lot of crunching like, in terms of editing.
Yeah.
It's not a drag, but it's like a different. It's much easier since I've written everything for my web novel.
Mhm.
If you guys haven't checked it out, we still have those links in the description in both the podcast and on YouTube.
Yes.
Go check those out as well as Ben's one shot.
Yes.
He's coming up with new stuff. And I'm also writing while I'm editing my current Assassin's Hunter story. To send out to publishers, I'm also writing another web novel series just for the fun of it, because I want to keep my creative brain moving in work in shape, I guess, as you would say it. Other than that, I haven't been watching much. I'm probably gonna be watching a bunch of horror movies now since it's like October, and that's what I usually do.
Yeah.
And then once it gets real cold fall, that's when I watch Harry Potter. That's what I usually do. I watch like Harry Potter the series like once a year at least. Is there a movie like that where you do that? Like or like a movie like this is the perfect time, like I get the vibes. Kind of like Christmas movies, around Christmas time.
No, every time summer starts, I begin my yearly reading of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read every Middle-earth book. I read The Children of Húrin, The Fall of Gondolin. Those are newer. I, of course, read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I mean, most recently, I've been listening to Andy Serkis do it. Because, number one, it's faster, and he adds... His Bilbo is perfect. If he was younger when The Hobbit came out, he would have been a really good Bilbo.
His Gollum is really good.
Yeah, of course. Well,
Just
duh. No dir. But yeah, he has a really good Bilbo voice. But yeah, he reads it really, really well.
Yeah,
and
but
I think I might add Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire.
But to read it
onto that.
yearly, that's like, I mean, I read books
Yeah.
like repeatedly, but only a few because I like reading new ones a lot. But I guess the ones that I've read the most, Ready Player One and Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I read like more than others.
You'd be
Like,
surprised how I've been reading Lord of the Rings almost every year since I was like 7 years old. So like you'd be surprised how fast I read it now.
you
But
should.
every time you read it, I find something new.
If
which
you
I
haven't
always
read
love.
Aragon, have you read the Aragon, the Inheritance?
No, I have not read
That
Aragon.
one's pretty good. That one's like a really underrated fantasy story that I
Mm.
like. I didn't read Lord of the Rings. I read like in Harry Potter. I read Percy Jackson and Aragon. They're not on the same level. In terms,
I hear Aragon's good.
It's
know?
really good, and the
Yeah.
movie did not. It sucked. It did
Oh
not do
no,
it justice.
yeah, I've heard that.
But it's really good. Dragons, like, and the lore is like competent and like
Oh, good.
in depth enough to feel like I'm getting vibes.
Good.
Because-
but it's like those stories are really, really, which is why I love manga and anime, because we spend so much time with these
Yeah.
characters and stories and world. But like the stories that I really, really like, The Witcher, A Song of Ice and Fire, Lord of the Rings. Those are the main three that I just love. How deep the world is and the utter conflict that is just within it is so it's tasty. It like there's no other way to describe it. It's just so good. But yeah.
But I was other than that, what you been up to this week?
I
bud?
performed Monday. That's what I did.
Much Ado About Nothing?
Yeah, Much Ado About Nothing. I was Claudio, who is a very how do I say this? He's very controversial for nowadays because he cusses out, basically calls his wife, the WHO word, and
Wholesome.
disgraces her. Yeah, there you go. Who? Disgraces her in front of everybody off of false accusations that she slept with someone, and then everything is right at the end, and he gets more than he deserves at the end, and that does not make people happy.
I saw a clip. You were like, you had the audience in the palm of your hand, and that clip you showed me. It was really cool.
Yeah, they were really. The audience was great. It
Yeah.
was. I really, really enjoyed performing with those guys, and a lot of the people who are performing there, and a lot of people who were in the audience are big names at Crunchyroll. And
Yeah.
I was terrified.
You were like up in the look what I can do.
I was like, oh God, please be good, And I talked with some of them afterwards, and I just told them how what big fans I am of theirs. 'Cause I am a huge fan of theirs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. I also, with my good friend Edgar, we recorded a live stream yesterday.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Like a few
yeah.
people stopped by, but like a good 3 that we know, like friends of ours, were
Yeah.
always sticking around.
200 overall viewers for that live stream.
Really?
200 people stopped by. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the video afterwards? Because I'm pretty sure live it was only like 20.
Live we ended at 160.
Really?
People who stopped by. Yeah.
I didn't. I guess my YouTube was like not updating.
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Like,
I saw it on we had 8 concurrent viewers at least the whole time.
okay, but okay.
But people stopped by.
I just
and
didn't.
left and
Okay,
came back,
wow. I thought it was like the same few. They just clicked in and out. But that's
no,
great.
and people clicked on us and then they subscribed. We got 3 new yesterday, and it got immediately like 8 likes during the live stream. I think it's on like 12 now. So we're
Nice.
really grateful for that, and I really enjoyed just dissecting that. I think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was kind of odd, like knowing that being live, like watching us in
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah, I'm working on my I'm working on my first ever video for my YouTube channel.
Oh, really? Can you give us a hint, or can you tell?
Yes, it's gonna be Chainsaw Man Episode 1, Season 1 Explained, and it's gonna look like the thumbnail that I had on our live stream.
Nice.
So it's just gonna be a nice little explained video and no spoilers and stuff like that. So check that out.
I think I have I haven't started on it yet, but I have an idea for YouTube, that video, my own, that I
Yeah.
wanted to start up on.
Yeah, I'm cautious because I'm just I don't want to take on too much stuff. So Shonen, there's not going to be any Shonen junk this week. It's just going to be our One Piece review of Arlong Park. So yeah,
That's a big one.
That is a big one. That was going to be really exciting. So yeah, we just recorded an awesome Shonen junk. So be prepared for that. And
I
then
finished Skypiea, so
Yeah.
probably if not the next episode, the
Yeah.
following we'll
Yeah.
insert the Skypiea arc, because that's the Skypiea saga, because that's a relatively small saga, probably
Yeah.
smaller than East Blue. So either that'll take up its own episode, or we'll be able to fit it in somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I finished it, and that'll be coming up soon, and we'll be happy talking about.
little sneak peek.
Yeah.
What was it? How was it?
It was really hard to get
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
I liked it in the very end, and I liked it at the very beginning, specifically with Giant Arc. But that was one of the hardest things to get through. Like I said, I respect One Piece from writing standpoint. It has its like characters, everything.
Yeah.
But I probably would have dropped it by this point if it not for being for One Piece. Not because it's boring or it's bad. It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
I
yet.
don't think it's just a story that Edgar would enjoy. Now, if you get past Water 7 and you're still not interested, then we start to get a little bit worried.
Yeah, and I really just hope.
yeah.
I mean, maybe in the end, because like the saying, anybody who doesn't like One Piece hasn't seen all of it yet. It's like the Krabby Patty. It's like the Krabby Patty. But I'll have no idea. I mean, I have high hopes, and maybe that's a kind of detriment. It's kind of like not good for my expectations.
Just don't expect anything, and then just have an open heart and let the story flow through you.
I guess in terms of hype, I just want to be at the level of excitement and love that everyone has for One Piece. Like, what is it? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Shows like Attack on Titan, like someone can have some idea. You know what I mean? Like the animation 100%, and like you can tell it's dark and deep and like different. Or Jujutsu Kaisen, like, you know what I mean? There's certain things that you can tell, and that's saying that One Piece doesn't have it, but it doesn't like come off like that because it looks silly, and the animation looks, it's not perfect. It is now, you know what I mean? But like, and 1,000 episodes is like way too intimidating for anyone. So like, what is it? Like, I do not understand.
I still think the Skypiea animation at that point was still very archaic, but I think the pacing was still pretty good at Skypiea.
Is that the point when it went widescreen? Because I don't.
I think that's when it went widescreen. Water 7 is also in between Water 7 and I think it's called
Archipelago.
No, I don't know what the other arc is after. There's another arc. It's a big war thing.
Summit War arc?
No. It's not Marineford, but it's something else. I always forget the name of it.
Post Enies Lobby?
Enies Lobby, yes, there you go.
How do I know this?
In between
I know the arc names, but I don't know what the context of them are.
But in between that, there's some really bad filler, and I believe that's when the anime began to fall off.
Not to spoil me or lower my expectations, but you said that a lot of people, all I know is that One Piece Skypiea is like the worst arc, or a lot of people consider that. In your opinion, are there any other lows that reach that or are lower than Skypiea arc?
I don't think. First of all, for those of you listening, Skypiea isn't bad. For other stories, Skypiea would be one of the best arcs. It's still a really good arc with a good beginning and a good end. The middle, I read it. I've read it twice, and I don't know what happens in the middle of Skypiea, which is telling.
That's the worst part for me.
I just don't know what happens, or I can't remember. But
I don't remember.
Yes, there is.
I just read it.
Yes, there is one arc that I was like, this is the worst. This is the worst arc in One Piece.
But like, I know it's like there's arcs that are the best is yet to come. You know what I mean? But are there any like low points, or is it all rise except for that one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's all rise. I mean, a lot of people said that they dislike after the time skip. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I miss old One Piece," but I genuinely think that it gets better and better and better from every single arc, and it peaks at Wano. As of right now, it peaks at Wano, because Wano is like, man, it's really good. It's the best arc in One Piece.
Yeah. So I don't mean to have high expectations. I just like, I want to be in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least I want to finish it or read it and catch up and say, I don't like it with the actual backing of it.
Yeah, with the backing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that mindset either. Like, I'm not reading it to hate it. Some people do. I don't know how they do it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That the people are like caught up and they're like, "Oh, I hate this."
Finally,
manga.
I can say it sucks with people with me saying I've actually read it or watched it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then if that happens, then people will just be like, "You just don't understand."
Or like, if you just read the manga, oh, you didn't see the anime, or vice versa. I really hope I don't get those comments if I say a criticism about One Piece and say, well, the anime is completely different. I hope, but that's not the case.
We'll see.
I'm enjoying. It's a unique experience. I never thought it'd be 300 chapters in. I never thought it'd be 300 chapters in something where I'd be like, I'm in. Yeah. But it's that's where I'm at, and I'm reading forward now, and I can't wait to dive in deeper. Whether the highs, the lows. Whenever we get to that episode, we'll be talking more in depth about the entire Skypiea saga. Other than that, that's pretty much it. What's been going on between us? You want to get into House of Dragon?
Yes, let's get into House of Dragon.
We don't mean to talk about. It's just we just like it so much. I mean,
House of the Dargan.
Dargan, Hinga Digga Dargan.
Here, I'll relate it to anime. House of the Dragon Balls. There you go. Booyah.
That
related.
sounds messed up.
No. Oh well, maybe in the context of this show it does.
House of the Dragon Balls.
House of the Dragon
That's
Balls.
that's where the eggs are
Hey
kept.
man, well it is in the lore of Game of Thrones. It is highly encouraged or pointed out that humans actually did the deed with actual dragons, and that's why when they say they have the blood of the dragon, they actually have the blood of the dragon.
They took a step too far, buddy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, Valyria was an awful, evil witch sorcery place, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Is Valyria, was it an actual place, or was it a continent or country?
Valyria was a city of old in the far east of places like Ashai and Pentos and all those places, far
But we've
east.
seen where's Valyria now in the show? Is it a place or does it not exist anymore?
Valyria doesn't exist. Valyria got exploded in the Doom, which was Valyria took place next to like gigantic volcanoes, and like all of them blew up and killed most of the dragons. Because Valyria in Valyria, the Targaryens weren't even one of the major houses. They were
But that's where they came from, right?
That's where they came from. Them and the Valerians. That's where they came from. But Aegon the Conqueror, he left looking for a better life, or they talk about the prophecy in this show. I don't know if that's what George meant in the books, but Aegon left, and then the Doom happened, and thus they had dragons and nobody else did, thus making Targaryens the biggest and largest house basically on the planet.
Interesting. You know about this stuff a lot more than I do.
But yeah, Valyria, it's interesting hearing Viserys talk so highly about Valyria, because Valyria was an awful, like, terrible slave empire with witches and like just an awful place.
I guess some people had it better than others, and he's like, back in the good old days, I was, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like he's talking about it like that because he's somebody who would have benefited from that system, you know.
So I guess jumping right into it, in episode 8 is where we are, right?
Yes, this is the 8, and this one is called the Driftwood Throne.
Yeah,
is the name of the episode.
Or at least we start off immediately like there in the Driftwood Throne in Driftmark.
Yes.
It's the brother of Corlys.
Yes.
I don't know what the guy's name is, but
I think it's Vaemond Valerion.
Yeah, you're right. Where he's like claiming his own right to the Driftwood Throne, since like Corlys is he dying or is he dead? I'm pretty sure he's dying, right?
He is. They said he's dying. This is interesting. In the books, in this one, they say that he's injured, but in the books, he's dying just because he's an old dude at this point. Like he's an old dude at this point in the story.
Well, I guess the saying that they say black don't crack really shows, because clearly he doesn't seem that old.
Yeah, no, he doesn't seem that old.
While
at
Viserys over here is like a corpse. Like,
Viserys is also like there's some theories that Maester I forgot the first Maester's name, that Maester was working with Otto to make him more sickly,
and like he was already had a bunch of stuff, like, you know, to begin with. It showed that he had some disease, like,
well, yeah, and they think that he had a disease, like he had some kind of leprosy, I think they called it, and then they also said that he got the infections from being cut on the throne, which in the books, being cut on the Iron Throne is basically saying you're not worthy of it. So yeah, plenty of kings have been cut on the throne.
He's a great character.
Yes,
a very good man in terms of morality, in a sense. But he is an awful king, awful king with making a lot of dumb decisions.
I don't think he's an awful leader, though. I think he's an actual okay leader. I just think that because he does make everyone. He tries to find the best for everyone.
But that's the fault.
But
like he can't. He does. His problem is he doesn't want to upset anybody. And as a king, you gotta that is, if you like, because I feel like some like stuff like the triarchy could have been something settled with a firm hand,
Yes.
like a long time ago. If he had done like an absolute like
Yeah.
something with it.
But he just wants to, the dude just wants to play with his Lego set, like he just wants to hang out.
I think objectively you can say that alone makes him a bad
I thought it was
king.
interesting that people in this episode were like, "Oh, I hated Viserys in the first episode," and I was like, "Why?" I was like,
He was, he was always like this, but people would just connect that with him, like, oh, you made his wife pump out a bunch of babies, and like, or try to have like,
But I feel like that's
every
just
king.
I feel like that's just the duty of like
a woman back then.
Yeah, all
in
of
that
them.
world.
And unless you're a very special breed like Corlys, Corlys is actually like the only person in Westeros who seems to like talk to his wife about and like consult his wife on like these matters.
She's a higher ranking than he is.
That is true. That
yeah.
is true. She is a princess, but I mean also
and a
like,
Targaryen.
it is still nice that he does it. You know. But yes, this episode. I'm just going to say if Patty Considine doesn't win an Emmy, it completely. And I've said this. I don't think any award shows have any credibility to them anymore.
But what?
I think, not that they ever did.
What about Bob Odenkirk?
Oh yeah,
Better
Bob
Call Saul?
Odenkirk. He didn't. Better Call Saul didn't win anything.
No, but it has the last season still, right?
No, I don't.
Because
think
it came out this year.
Oh yeah, it might have. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it did. I just remember
'Cause, like,
seeing
right,
somewhere
it
that
starts-
Better Call Saul didn't win.
Well, for
anything.
season 5, right?
Season 5.
Because the Emmys were this year for last year.
Yeah, but I
Because they
don't
would
think,
not host it mid-year.
But Bob Odenkirk would get nominated for lead actor. I think Viserys would be nominated.
Viserys is a lead actor.
Viserys would be supporting.
But who's the lead actor male actor in the show?
It's Damon, or
No,
it's,
he's not.
it's Rhaenys or Rhaenyra.
But
Yeah,
that's
it's
lead actress.
It's Damon. That is Rhaenyra. But the thing is that just because Rhaenyra is the lead actress, it doesn't mean he's not supporting.
But Patty Considine is the first name in the credits.
Sometimes he is, not all the time. Sometimes
I'm calling cap. I'm pretty sure he's
But
considered lead
you
actor
also
in
have
this
to remember
entire
Game
show.
of Thrones is different than any other show, right? Because characters can die off. I don't think you can have a lead character who's not in these last 2 episodes, because he's not going to be. I also think like when Game of Thrones
Wasn't Game of Thrones? I mean, didn't Ned die in like the
Yes,
second to last episode?
when Game of Thrones was in its heyday, the actors would only be nominated for supporting actor. Peter Dinklage only was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and that's the only person who won individual awards. The only people who were nominated for lead characters was Kit Harington in the season 8 and Daenerys in season 8, which they didn't have any chance of winning with the absolute dog water they were given.
Yeah.
You know,
I would just argue that in this one season, that Patty Considine was the leading male role in this first season, regardless of whether he's going to be.
No, you could argue, but he
Yeah.
will be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be nominated for the lead. I think the only person who has the possibility of getting that is Damon or is Matt Smith.
Just saying. I mean, he's good too. I just don't think. I believe he's the leading male.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. Yeah.
But hey man, like an Emmy's an Emmy. Best Supporting Actor, Best Actor doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, Rhys Ifans, I would love to see him win like Best Minor Character. You know, I think that'd be really good.
Yeah.
Because he's been great as well. But yes, this episode, man, it's some of the best television I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good episode. Probably the best in the season so far.
I cried like a little girl. I did.
I teared up, but I didn't think it had that much of an impact on Ben. I was like, oh really? I was like, oh my god,
dude, I cried. I wailed.
Jesus,
like I had to stop, and I was like, oh, like when
you're like that meme, like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's this kind of stuff we like to see.
But man. Like seeing a decrepit old man, I never thought I could be so hyped.
It's like there's like a meme seeing old leaders in power and like in real life. Boo! Old leaders in power in Game of Thrones, House of Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that meme of like the guy who has like the salute sign and then he's like screaming and stuff, and I was like, yeah, that is it, because it's like when he looks at Otto and he goes, "I will sit the throne today." I was like, oh my, and Penny. He kills this episode, man. He's just so good.
Yeah.
And when his crown fell off and Damon picked it up, apparently that was improvised. And of course we see all the memes of "you dropped this king," you know.
Literally
literally
is the meme. Like that is literally what happened.
Yeah.
But such a great moment.
Yes.
But everything leading up to that was great too. Especially, but it was really sad seeing like Viserys in the bed. Like he's an absolute pain.
If you watch it again, you can see like Daemon doesn't even look at him because he can't stomach it. Like he just can't.
He
It's
loves
really good.
he loves his brother.
Yes.
Like if that wasn't like confirmed already, like this cements it.
It's gonna be very interesting to see because Daemon's entire goal as a character has been to get the love and respect from not just his family, but mostly from Viserys. You know, like he wants his.
But I mean, he has it in Rhaenyra now. He clearly cared for
Yes.
her. Other than his brother, he cared about her in a weird way because they
kind of groomed her. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I mean, not really. I mean,
watch that first episode again when he put like that necklace on her and
but
stuff.
that was already lingering stuff there. And
but isn't she like 14 and he was like 25 or something?
yeah, but she clearly wanted more than he did.
I
don't know. I don't know, but I mean, but he either way, he clearly cared about her, other than her brother.
Yes.
So he's gonna be, and he clearly cares about the situation and her family, about the strong kids. He cares about them as well, in his foot, whether he believes because everyone knows they're strong kids, but even then he's like, don't mess with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's clearly there, and I really liked about him. So I feel like the love will still be there.
But he didn't definitely. I mean, he defended them basically in the. He was kind of acting like their father, where he was like in that.
He's like, I got
dinner
this.
scene. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want. We'll get there then because I really like that. I really like that scene. But everything leading up to that, clearly things have changed. The queen is taken position like in the small council, and then Otto the Hand takes the throne instead of the king. So they're clearly the heads of the entire kingdom right now, and it's a bit sus because obviously Viserys is like dying, but it's not a pretty picture.
But they're keeping him alive so that they can hold power for as long.
Yeah,
as
that's what I said. People are like, "Oh, they're killing him." I'm like, maybe they got him to this point, but they're definitely. He's the only thing that's keeping them relevant.
I think that's what they did was they made him this sick,
incompetent enough to not rule, but like just alive, so where she can hold the power of queen.
Because even like when Viserys was healthy, he was still a pushover king, but we still saw that scene where he put his foot down and he was like, see, when he's older, he's like, no more, like, but like when he was young in that first episode, and he was like, my wife and son are dead, and he was like, I will not hear it, and I think it's better for these people if they have a weak, sickly king, kind of a puppet king, for them to use, but it's just. Yeah, it's just absolutely glorious. Like, Edgar, do you want to talk real quick? You're our soundtrack guy. You want to talk a little bit about how good the soundtrack was when Patty entered in that scene?
Yeah, it was good. I'm like, this might be a hot take, but I don't really like Ramin Djawadi's
What?
score. Other than the opening and then a few moments, I just find his scores to be a bit generic and not moving.
That is a very hot take. I've never heard anybody say that.
Iconic, yes, but he doesn't. I don't know. As a score, as in terms of score for this entire show, it's been okay, and there's been just reiterations of the Targaryen theme, like the.
And Rhaenyra's theme is really good. The
that one,
good.
yeah.
And then the Driftmark theme or the Valerian theme.
I don't know.
the boom 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 boom. I would have
Isn't
to
that
show
just
it to you.
that's just like the Targaryen thing kind of, but more pompous?
Yes, but it's more like it has more like drums.
Because it's like the build up, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom,
but what I really like about that Patty entrance scene is it's the same theme from the first episode of Game of Thrones, but it's more valiant. The King Returns, or the King's Arrival, when he arrives on Winterfell. Yeah, I think.
See,
that's a really good.
I like
soundtrack,
the original. I just didn't pay attention to a lot of the scores in the following seasons of Game of Thrones, but I really like the beginning stuff. especially in the beginning stuff for House of Dragon, in the scene where we see like the very very beginning where it shows like the old king naming Viserys a king. Jacaerys. Yeah. In that scene, the score for that was really good. I really like it. I don't know what it's called. I'm pretty sure it was like the first track for it. But that was really good. But other than that, nothing's really stood out to me. The music at the dining room was pretty endearing.
I think it is really hard. That was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's very it has a melody that's very nice and like tranquil and peaceful, and then it slows down into like a very sad, and it's a bit on the nose, but it works still because it makes you feel like, this is, even though it's happy, we know that it's not true because it's not gonna.
I think is his name Jawadi? I think
Ramin Djawadi.
Djawadi or something like that.
Ramin is his first
Ramin,
name.
Yeah.
Not Ramin, but
Ramin.
Ramin.
Ramin, yeah. I think Ramin has done a absolutely brilliant job, especially since
there you go.
Jawadi. I think he's done an absolutely brilliant job, especially since like there's not a lot of houses in this part of the story yet. It's really just the Hightowers, the Targaryens, and the Valerians. And kind of how strong, but like in Game of Thrones, like that Lannister theme was so good, like that Stark theme was so good, and you could use that and make different variations of it.
The Stark theme is probably my favorite theme of all Game of Thrones.
Oh, isn't it?
It's
really
always
good?
It's so moving, and no matter what happy moment it always sounds tragic.
And even if the writing is really bad, it still sounds, like at least the soundtrack is there.
Oh, he did Pacific Rim. That might be my favorite score from, because the Pacific Rim theme is so.
Yeah,
awesome.
I was surprised. I was like, I thought but
normally it doesn't move me much, but there are really good moments. I mean, I don't hate the score, but there are a lot of good moments. But specific compared to Game of Thrones and like House of Dragon, nothing's hit me like Game of Thrones has yet. Again, they're borrowing a lot of themes, but it's only one season, so I can't really have a strong footing on that. But it's not awful. But if someone were to say that they really like the score, I don't blame him because he's still a pro at what he does.
Aemond. He's cool.
My favorite. He's my favorite. My new favorite now. Just because he has nothing but a goal in mind. Yeah. And that is to declare war when he has a
fire
chance.
and blood. Baby.
He's like the dragon's not going to be the only thing that people fear me. It's going to be, he is an intense fighter. His stare, his actor, he says so much in silence. Like he only has one eye.
The dude's 20. That dude is 20 years old.
He looks like 50, but
he looks like 10 years older than we are. Yeah.
So I guess he might be younger in actual age as an actor than the guy who's playing Aegon, but Aegon just looks younger than Aemon does. But Aemon is clearly just working on it, and he's working out, he's training, like his life depends on it.
I wonder if maybe like since the bond between the Targaryens and their dragons are so strong, maybe him writing Vhagar made him bigger and stronger, faster. Maybe that.
It's like Balon is like, man, we made the right choice with this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He clearly wants to go out in all glory.
Yeah.
But if we're just going to the dinner scene, or I guess we'll just be jumping everywhere. But the dinner scene.
Oh, you mean the?
Yeah.
God, that was so good, wasn't it?
I saw the pig and I saw once the strong. Why did you laugh, man? You've seen this guy fight. Why would you smirk at all? And when he stands up, he's like to the strong, and then he shoves him. And
might be the best. Like that is just like that's George R.R. Martin writing at its finest.
Yeah.
Like right. Like doesn't that look? It looks like something that would be in the book. Like these valiant, these courageous, these strong boys. He was like, what, it's only a compliment, mother, but it seems my nephews aren't willing to take that compliment.
They're like, I know they're still kids, but you're how old? Why do you still show why do you show your hand whenever someone calls you that? You're just adding fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
Literally, your one job is to like take the hit, but every time you get mad is like another arrow in their arsenal.
That one eye, like he like opens it wide.
He stares.
So scary.
And like my favorite moment is like when like Daemon stands up and like kind of puts him away, and then he turns back and is like, you think you're the new guy in town. You think you're hot shit.
Yeah,
you
and
think
he's
you
like-
think you're so cool. I was
Yeah.
the rogue prince. You're
Which is-
not. And then like you
yeah.
could tell there's I don't know
Yeah.
what happens in the books, what battles will be happening, but I hope and I get the feeling that their fight. Oh man, because like they're two heads, like spearheads of the family, and I really can't wait to see them fight. It's gonna be great. And like Damon's like response to that, they're both great, and especially the scene where Damon chops off that guy's one heads, and then
Vaymond.
and then Aemon is like, I like that.
Yeah.
he just looks at him.
He was
he's
like, I dig that.
I
Yeah.
dig that.
But,
I
like,
can vibe with
yeah,
that.
his reaction of let him keep his tongue, that was really awesome. Like I
Yeah.
really liked that.
That
But,
entire scene was
Yeah.
fantastic.
oh yeah, that whole like there are some scenes in here that is like that might be the best Game of Thrones.
Vaymond ain't wrong though, bro.
Oh
Like,
no,
'cause-
he's not, and
like-
and I do feel sympathy for him, but also like I mean the sympathy kind of goes away when he calls Rhaenyra,
yeah.
and I think that's what the writers kind of went for.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it how do we make him on the bad guy side now? Like,
Yeah,
because he is right.
But I don't know, like, especially some of the stuff from Alicent this episode kind of made me feel for her a little bit more. Like, God, her kids are just the worst.
No, yeah, man.
like,
they're
Aegon's a
yeah.
Aemon's an absolute psychopath, and I love
Yeah.
that scene where he's fighting Krispy Kreme.
Some
and
yeah,
uh,
and everyone's like, he still looks
Yeah.
Can't we just kill him? I'm like, hey guys, I
Yeah.
get it. He's on the Team Green, but I really
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
I still like him. He looks great.
And
like,
it just shows that Crispy Cole is like he's more into like fighting in the tournaments and like being a real knight. And Aemon's like, oh, I don't care about tournaments. He's like, nephews, you want to fight? Come over here, I'll fight you. You know, did you see how like intense their training was? Like he's holding a morning
How did
star
they-
and swinging it at him. Like if that hits him, he's dead.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but a lot of great things. But the dinner scene really showed someone. I mean, this is not my own original idea, but someone clearly said beautifully that even in a moment like that, you can tell that the princesses, the princess and the queen, Rhaenyra and Alicent, you can tell, especially after their exhaustion after all this, that they want to put it to bed.
Yeah.
That in that scene, you can tell that they want to just just stop.
They were moved by Viserys's words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they want to stop. And even when it seems like happy, it's not. They've taken it way too far towards out of their hands. That it's clearly
Yeah.
their kids now that are the
Yeah.
ones like inciting this.
Yeah, well, they have been pushing each other towards violence for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it was like, I actually thought it was really nice that I think Otto was like, you know what, whatever, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I really like that scene where like Otto was like applauding
Yeah,
them
he's
dancing.
He's having
and stuff.
fun. Yeah.
I was like, man, that is really,
Can we
really
just stay like this
nice.
forever, please? Like,
Exactly, and it just makes you be like, okay, this is the last time we're getting this,
and
what I-
Viserys is probably gonna die thinking that it.
Yeah,
I
of
mean, he does,
course.
but like
Yeah.
we probably all saw, like, yeah, he's gonna die because he's
Yeah.
gonna think that this is how it ends for them. That he solved it.
Listen to this, Edgar. The first season of Game of Thrones, the first episode starts with the death of an Aaron. The hand of the king was an Aaron, and he was, I forgot his full name. But yeah,
Aaron, they're from the.
he's
the
from
Vale?
the Vale. Yes, he was the leader of the Vale. Yeah, search up his name. Robert's Hand of the King. Why do I want to say Elijah Aaron? That's not right.
Aaron Robin.
No, that's his
his
son. Yeah, Little Robin is his son.
John Aaron.
John Aaron, yes, the death of John Aaron. And this series started off with the death of an Aaron. Emma, his wife, was an Aaron. And then in episode 8, the death of King Robert happened. And in this episode 8, the death of King Viserys happened.
Yeah, if anyone can't tell, if you can't tell that the turning point has happened,
Yeah.
that this isn't the turning point, you're blind.
Yeah.
Because it has been building up, and like I said, Viserys has been the only thing keeping the High Towers relevant in power. And if any chance they have to declare it and to step in and say,
Yes.
we're keeping it, this is the moment.
Yeah.
This is when it happens. And if you didn't look at the preview, stuff is going to be happening.
Oh yeah.
It's coming, and I'm really, really, really excited to see what
Yeah.
happens. Like it's all come to like a clashing conclusion here.
Yeah.
I mean, we still got 2 more episodes following after that, which is great, but it
Yeah.
starts now.
It looks like the next episode's going to be all about King's Landing.
Yeah.
And what's going on
I
over
think
there.
it's safe to say that we won't be getting any major time jumps moving forward.
No,
right?
no, no. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
I-
These actors who are here, they are the actors forever.
Great. It was confirmed by George R. R. Martin that House of the Dragon will require 4 seasons, 10
Yes.
episodes each to complete the series.
Yes.
So great. I'm glad because I didn't know the context of I'm like 1 book for like 2 more, for like a few more seasons. Why? But then I found out, it's like a history book, and it tells out the Dance of Dragons, like all of it, the history of the Targaryens, So like it makes sense. I'm glad there is a clear conclusion and like what's going to be happening. So
Yeah.
now I'm officially now excited
Yeah.
that we'll be getting an entire depth show of this.
Episode 10 is going to be really good, Edgar. Something's going to happen at
Does it have the name for the
No,
show?
I don't think so, but something's going to happen at Storm's End on episode 10, and I'm really, really excited for you to see it. and talk
I
about
have the
it.
title names. You
Yeah,
wanna
go
see it?
ahead.
There's only 2 more episodes left,
Yes.
including the next one coming.
Yes.
This episode 8 was called The Lord of the Tides. That was the
Yes.
name. Yeah. And the next episode is called The Green Council. That is the one that's coming up.
Of course.
Or
I mean,
in recording, if you're listening to this now, it already happened. The last episode, episode 10, is called The Black Queen.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so I like that. The Green Council, the Black
The
Queen.
Black Queen.
I
Yeah.
really
nice, right?
Really good stuff. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to that. Written by the same guy who wrote the first episode. So
Yes,
if
very
you
nice.
missed him out, if you missed that guy, then he's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be really good. I can't wait for that episode. But yeah, going back onto this episode, just the ending of it, I think that it was really, really. Before we move on, there is something that, and I want to hear what you think about this, since I know what happens and I can't say what it is. So we've talked about, Aegon's sister, his sister wife. Now,
Yeah, I found out. I was
Um,
like, wait, they what? And,
yeah, they.
By the way,
married.
as much as a twerp and absolute psychopath monster that Aegon is, his
Yeah.
actor is really great.
Yeah,
Especially his little banter with his face.
Yeah, that's really good.
He's a really great actor. It's awful character, but great actor.
He also made me feel for him a little bit, where he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's never enough for you and Dad,"
Yeah,
It's
obviously we can't
sad.
blame everything on just him. There's a clear raising of driving you have to be this, you have to be that, but not care about him as a kid.
Yeah.
Kind of like Grisha is with Zeke, driving,
Yeah.
putting the ideas on your child, but not actually caring and raising your child.
Yes,
Exactly.
completely. But his sister wife, she says something. We know in the past she said something. She said some things that are very mystical. Like in episode, I think it was 6, she says if he wants a dragon, he'll have to lose an eye. Or he'll have to close an eye. So
Oh,
thus-
is she an oracle of sorts?
a lot of people think she's a green seer, which is what you remember Jojen Reed, people who can see the future, or get a glimpse of the future. And George R. R. Martin, he makes it very tragical when people are green seers, because
with Aegon, would you classify Aegon as that, since he clearly saw the biggest plot of the entire Westeros?
Yeah, there are a lot of the Targaryens are known to have these prophetic dreams, and most of the green seers come from the Fist of the First Men, and most of those people are the Starks are from the north. But a lot of people think that they are a different version type of green seers. But a lot of people think that she's able to view these future things. So she says things in this like, he'll have to close an eye. And then in the episode after that, of course, that happens to Aemond. And also in that episode, she says black thread and green thread weaving together to dance as one, which is, of course, saying
The green
thread
and
of black, thread of green, they're
Yeah.
dancing together. And in this episode, she says, beware the beast under the boards. And she says that kind of in passing when she's drunk. Because in this one, she seems like she's an actual human being,
Yeah.
Like she can actually speak. And she goes she has a little bit of a headache, and she goes, beware the beast under the boards. What do you think that means?
Beware the beast under the boards.
Yeah.
Maybe it has something to do with the house or something like that, or maybe it means something literal, something under the Red Keep under the castle.
Yeah, we have seen rats walk around the castle. Maybe I don't know
A
if rats
plague
could be
coming, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
There is. I can't tell you this because I don't think it's going to be talked about in House of Dragon. There is a plague coming after the Dance of the Dragons, but I can't.
That's
I can't
probably
talk
too
about-
far.
Yeah.
It has to be something relevant within the show. Beast on the boards. Either it could be someone or something that
Maybe
could be dangerous,
Maybe Laris. Maybe.
or literally just Aemond. He is literally a beast on the board. He's literally a beast and ready
Yeah.
to be unleashed.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. But I didn't know she's prophetic. I didn't know she was making these calls, which might be something
Yeah.
obvious to you, but now something I made aware of. I'll be going back and
Yeah.
listening to what she says, and I'll be looking forward, like pay attention to her character, make sure.
Yeah, definitely read that or watch that scene where she says if he wants a dragon, he'll
Yeah.
have to close an eye.
This might be
Really
a
good.
dumb question, but
Yeah.
this entire show is making me realize how in depth and how large this world and world building and lore is.
And you're not. It's going to get
Who-
even more big.
I think J.R.R. Tolkien is like the master at that, and some would say the definitive like person of that. But would you say how close, or would you say that George R. R. Martin is
Very close.
better, or just very close? Yeah.
Very close. If he finishes A Song of Ice and Fire, maybe on the same level. If it's finished, he'll never be there. He'll never. It's because he has made such a all of these houses Tolkien did with the elves, the men, the dwarves, and the Silmarillion, right? But in this, there's just so much political intrigue, and the characters.
It feels more realistic in a sense because like it feels like drama. Like,
The characters have actual the characters all have individual goals, whereas in Lord of the Rings, it is more on the fantastical side of it, and that's not to its
It
detriment.
feels more
you
like
know.
biblical rather than history and Shakespeare.
And I mean, Tolkien was a religious man.
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin, I don't think is.
No.
But
to add to that, whether he'll finish, a recent quote was taken from him. He must have said this recently, whether an interview or not, but it's been trending all over the place. He said, but right now, Ryan Condal, the head runner of the show, focuses on House of the Dragon Season 2, and mine is on The Winds of Winter. So probably we'll be getting the book soon within the time that Season 2 premieres or is finished wrapping up. That's
I think
good
no
news.
matter what, we will get a form of Winds of Winter, whether it is a draft, whether it is, what I'm worried about is a Dream of Spring. I don't know if we'll ever get that.
Is that supposed to be the last one?
That's the final book. Yeah, a
Well,
Dream of Spring.
Well, he said Season 2. Well, that either way, I feel like it's coming because he said his focus Season 2. Whenever that comes out, mine is Winds of Winter. I don't know. I have high hopes.
Edgar, I've been saying this since 2011, dog. Like
He said, but like he literally
Edgar,
said, like
this book has been in the writing since 2011.
winter's coming, Ben. I can feel it coming.
I thought this exact same thing in 2019. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be next year.
I don't know. I'm just now joining this boat, so maybe it'll actually happen now. But who knows? A lot of great things in this episode. And I really can't wait for more.
Yeah. Just real quick, ending, beautiful. Patty, wonderful. Like when he
it's
says,
died.
"My love."
He saw his wife.
I thought it was of course.
His ex-wife.
I thought it was so good when he was like, no more. Like I was like, man, dude, like this has probably happened many times to people like on their deathbed, But also, I thought it was also interesting that he talked about Aegon's prophecy, which is about the White Walkers.
Oh man,
with half of his face.
He almost solved it. If there was any point of like solving this issue, we almost had it, and then he just accidentally ruins it by telling this prophecy with Alicent confusing it for her own son and her own way of saying that I need to claim the throne.
I don't know if Viserys is. I think Alicent just heard what she wanted to hear, and I think she just heard.
But it's
Aegon.
so specific because she doesn't know that because
But why would he change at the last second? She is hearing what she wants to hear, like that.
But he is saying it.
But
But he clearly is saying it as if Rhaenyra is right there. Because they were because all this time while he has been backing Rhaenyra, he has been clearly on her side. It's like it's you.
Yeah.
Because he only told her that prophecy. not Alicent's.
Yes.
So yeah, she might be like hearing what she wants to hear, but it is to her. It's like, oh, my son is Aegon. She has no idea who Aegon she doesn't know about Aegon the Conqueror in the prophecy. So she clearly is taking it like it's him. Like all this conflict, I choose you. Like like, you're the hope.
I still think that she took a gigantic leap.
But it is a coincidence. Come on, she added through her ears, through her eyes. What else could that mean?
I still think that it's that she is still just using this as her gain. You know.
What else could she like? What else could she reference it to though?
Well, I think that
literally nothing because she doesn't know anything about
doesn't
this.
tell her. Viserys has told her almost his entire life, Rhaenyra will be queen. He does not say in that moment, I want Aegon to be king. Like, he does not say that. He says Aegon is, like, she says, you're the one, Aegon, and his dream, the prince that was promised. And she goes, oh, I understand.
Because
I get you.
My son is named Aegon, a prince.
No.
Come on, you can't.
But there's
also,
also Aegon, Rhaenyra's son.
But Rhaenyra does. But Alicent doesn't know that. She doesn't know what the name of that kid is. She's never met him.
But dude, there's no.
She's never met him. She doesn't know who that Aegon is.
I understand that that Alicent. They're trying to make Alicent seem like that, but this is still a jump, especially since Viserys all of his life said Rhaenyra would be king. Why would he change it?
I don't know. He's dying. Like, it's his final words. Like,
there's no way.
I don't know. I mean,
but yeah, I think
take it as you will. But
I think that ending was really really good.
Yeah.
With his my love at the end, and I don't think Game of Thrones has done like a silent credit roll like that since Jon Snow died. In
rip spoilers
5.
for who's just started on Game of Thrones.
Well, get screwed, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, we'll be talking about the next episodes to come, and we're really excited about that. Ben, I need to pee real quick.
Go ahead.
Let's pause.
All right, Edgar, let's head straight into the news. What have you got for us this week?
All right, on to the news. I got it right here. Sorry. Oshi no Ko. Remember that manga that Love is War author that is currently writing right now?
Nope.
It's the one with.
Actually, yes, I do.
Oh no, yeah, it's the guy. It's about the pop star who gets whose doctor gets reincarnated as her son.
Oh yes. Good.
Coming 2023, the first episode will be 90 minutes long. They already got the cast for the main actress who'll be playing. Ria Takahashi, the same voice actress of Emilia from ReZero and Megumin from I'm forgetting Konosuba. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I've seen both of those. How did I forget? But it'll be animated by Studio Dogo Kobo. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But either way, confirm it's getting an anime. Absolutely great. I love Love is War. And this manga I hear is really great. It won a bunch of awards. So after Love is War is complete, which only has like 3 chapters left, I'll be checking that out. All good stuff to hear. What else do I got?
There's not going to be much news, especially since we recorded
but
early last
buddy,
week.
Hunter x Hunter has confirmed the final volume cover and will be releasing the chapters. I believe like the volume was confirmed to come November, but the actual chapters will be coming October 24th on Weekly Shonen Jump. So, the first volume is already complete. Yeah, dude. And, it's really great. It's like unbelievable. I can't believe, that we're getting it this soon. And I think they uploaded on the Shonen Jump app. They literally uploaded all the chapters on there for free to not free to read, but like $1.99. You can read all the Hunter x Hunter chapters. Man, I really want you to get into this series. I know it's like not so long, but it is a chunky series. It's like only like in terms of episodes, I know it's like 140, 141, and I think it's like 160 or something in terms of chapters. Phenomenal series, and once we get into that, that'll be its own thing. Like I know we have like separate episodes for like One Piece. Hunter x Hunter's not nearly as big as that, but that'll be like
that'll be a big thing.
Because
I'm tempted not to read Hunter x Hunter until you're finished with One Piece.
It's 1,000 years, I guess.
That'll give you some. Maybe you can take a break after the time skip.
No, I want to get this over with.
Oh, okay.
Not over with, but I have to I can't.
You want to catch up, I guess.
Yeah, I have to I want to get up to date.
It feels good to like read it weekly because it feels like you're being a part of history, like reading it weekly.
Yeah.
It's really great.
I read like 20 chapters in a day.
Yeah,
That is like that's usually how I go.
Yeah.
But that is Hunter x Hunter is a series that I not only I want to enjoy with you as an anime and manga fan, I want to talk about it with you as a creative writing standpoint because of how great it is. And we do the same with One Piece. Go check those out if you haven't. But I can't wait for it. And the volume covers always look odd in a sense. They're not like your standard volume covers. Sometimes they'll be.
It reminds me of the old OG Dragon Ball manga covers because they really don't. I really don't think they have much to do with the story.
They kind of vary. I'm trying to find a weird one. They kind of sometimes they'll look really silly.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll just go like a Da
Absolutely
Vinci
hardcore,
like a
yeah.
painting, and sometimes they'll just be really simple. But this one looks like really kind of creepy. I don't know who this character is, but I know Killua is the main. Not Killua, Kurapika is the main player in the Dark Continent arc, which is where it is right now. Nonetheless, I am all hyped for this.
Good.
What else do we got?
Tokyo Revengers manga is heading towards its climax.
Got bad news. I spoke about that last week.
Oh, you got it about this last
it was
week?
actually, but it was when you were away, so you would have known. It's when you went to get a drink of water.
That makes sense.
So you weren't.
That makes sense.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the end of the story is coming, so that's good.
Yeah.
Did you talk about the English dub of My Hero?
No.
Yeah, the English dub of My Hero Academia Season 6 is premiering on Crunchyroll on October 15th. I know many people. Yeah.
Already
Go
came
ahead.
out for those listening,
Yeah.
but I can't wait for that. I know I started with My Hero on the dub. It is just one of those like that. It's just
Goated
good
dub.
on the same level.
Goated, yeah.
Yeah.
Of all of it, yeah. And it's gonna be really, really great. So we're super duper excited for that because it just gives me another reason to watch My Hero again. Yeah, and that's it for me actually.
I just want to read a few Shonen Jump author comments that they usually leave on the on the Shonen Jump Weekly. And sometimes the comments are pretty funny. Sometimes they're just exciting. Sometimes they're just random things where they say, "I ate this today." Haha, fun. But I just wanted to read them. Gege Akutami, the manga for Jujutsu Kaisen, said, "This might have been my only chance in life to use the assume it's in English if the text is horizontal visual cue." Don't know what context that is in. Sometimes they just say random things. And I'm like, what? Koei Horikoshi said, "It's been about 10 months since I said there was only about a year to go. I am sorry." So that means it might be a bit longer than he intended to. That's funny.
I mean, come on, like we were both like, there's no way he's finishing this in
December.
time
But
period.
I'm calling it February is probably when it's gonna finish. Because in the manga, spoiler alert for the manga readers, didn't they say like when Deku does a big move that you only have like a few seconds after that, like this better be it, or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, he's using all of his quirks to his highest ability.
Yeah. Then the guy gave like a time limit, like you have like 1 minute or something. And this is it.
Yeah, maybe, but I still don't think that's the end. I still think that there is something to do with a certain white-haired little girl that's gonna happen. So yeah, we have to see what happens there. But we'll get there when we get there. You know.
Yeah. February. I'm calling it. $100. I'm betting it right now.
I'm calling it in July.
I'm
summer.
getting $100, baby. Ichiro Oda. You know that guy, Ben, right?
No.
I tried miracle fruit for the first time and ate a whole lemon. What the heck? Lemons are delicious. What the heck are you talking about, buddy? He's the weirdest, kind of the oddball of all mangakas. I sent. I took a picture.
You think? Have you seen like his messages before? Like he talks about farts and stuff. Like
I took a picture of he tried in the Skypiea saga. He tries drawing the characters with his mouth.
Oh yeah.
He draws with his mouth better than I do with my right hand. Because Nami's probably the best looking one from the bunch.
Yeah, although I can see, I can see Luffy though. I feel like
because he's the hat.
I feel like drawing the hat was hard. It would have been hard. Yeah.
Oh man, but that's really funny.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there's a bunch of other author comments, but those are the ones I thought that Koei Horikoshi was very insightful because he's talking about, man, I'm pretty sure this could be longer than I thought it'd be. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. I thought I had more. Sorry.
Wow.
Oh no, sorry. Last one. Congratulations! Oh, come on, Ben.
kidding. Keep
Congratulations, Lycrasis Recoil won the Anime of the Season in the summer of 2022 on the
Oh, wow.
Anime Corner Poll Award, Anime Awards, an Anime Corner. I saw. I haven't finished. I have like one more episode, but Lycrasis Recoil, amazing animation by A1 Pictures and really good series. Like basically cute girls with guns, but it's like a really good story. Go check it out if you haven't. I know fall season is already dominating everyone else's page, but Lycrasis Recoil and like other stuff like Call of the Night are amazing anime that everyone should check out because it's absolutely great. Let's move on to the big stuff, Ben. We already got a sneak peek for those of you who were watching live or checked out the video on YouTube. Our first breakdown of the first episode of Chainsaw Man, but we're just gonna go a bit more in depth, more going with our opinions on Chainsaw Man. Just going off that. Ben, what do you think of episode 1 of Chainsaw Man?
Very good, very good. My favorite. I don't want to be that fan. I don't want to be that anime
Makima.
fan. No, not that. Not that kind. No, not that
A
kind
standard
of fan.
Makima fan.
No, I don't want to be the fan who's like, CGI, you know. But I think the best parts were 2D. I think the best parts were 2D with a smidgen of 3D.
I'll say it again. I just don't like 3D. Or if I notice it, it's like you know how what they say. Bad CG is the one you notice in movies too.
Yeah.
You know, so if I don't notice it, and it's not like I hate it, but like obviously the subtle ones I like, and we talked about it on the live broadcast that. The subtle animation, the subtle CG is there, and I really like it and appreciate it because it's used all the time.
Yeah, I do think, like I said, if I had to, like, if we're rating this episode, like, heck yeah, like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, like it's great.
It's fantastic.
Like it's amazing.
It met expectations, if not exceeded them.
But if I'm gonna get nitpicky, I like the manga better. Like I'm just gonna say it flat out. I think the manga is more gory. It's more like blood is everywhere. That's what it feels like. I thought it was gonna be blood is just like spilling and it's like spilling on the camera and stuff. You know, which is kind of does. But like when you read the manga panel or read the manga, there isn't like any space in like a panel without blood. You know, and we missed some of those really, really iconic panels, like the "then die," you know, that one, and then the where he's like laughing and he's like, "I gotta kill Devil's Dead," you know, that one. I feel like we missed a lot of that because of the CG, and I think that having him face off against one at a time rather than facing off against a giant horde and just slashing through anybody like he can, I really don't like that. I really don't, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, we the best action scenes have yet to come. So
yes,
we'll get that. And the strong points of this series is its characters and it's kind of humor. It's like, because that's a kind of Tatsuki Fujimoto, like the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like, it's completely different from everything else. And I feel like a lot of that is to come, especially in this, literally the next episode, we'll be getting like a new character introduction and a lot of good things. So, you know, whatever we say, it's still like kind of unfinished because like this, we only saw like one episode. So we're just going based off that. Our first impressions of it, but I do agree with you. There's a lot of things that I wish we got to see, especially with certain panels in the last fight against the zombie devil, which we didn't get to see. But either way, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the character designs, the shadows with the animation. Nothing stood out to me. We're like, I can't watch this. It's absolutely garbage. The CG is not as bad as people complained it would be. I don't know if you paid attention, Ben, but before there was like a leak of the first episode, specifically with this fight, and people were like trashing on it, and people were like, no, wait, guys, this is like really bad footage. Yeah. And there was like a lot of like fighting and infighting going on between the anime fans. So I was impressed. It wasn't as bad as they said it was. I mean, it wasn't really bad at all, but like I said, I'd rather not have CG animation. I know people say, "Well, Demon Slayer uses it all the time." Well, yeah, that's the fact that I don't notice it.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. But
we talked about how the best parts of this episode did have CG, but it had a smidge of it.
Yeah.
Like Pochita's like chainsaw.
Makima's look up and down.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
When
like
she
we
finds
talked.
Denji.
We talked about that last Tuesday. Like we talked about that on the stream. That part was really, really good. But I think that it's like I don't know. I mean,
no words.
I do think that I think that it could get in trouble if you're missing some of that, like if you're missing some of the very iconic manga panels, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes you look at the manga panels and you're like,
Yeah,
like there was a really good shot of like Pochita like getting in on his chest, his heart.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was straight from the manga. But like I said,
I would say that the one that you talked about was probably the most iconic panel from that chapter,
Yeah.
because that was all one chapter. They adapted only chapter 1. It was like a lengthy
Yeah.
chapter, but that was probably that was like the best panel in that entire chapter, and they didn't straight up adapt it,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And we see this all the time. Like it's unfortunate because you see stuff like My Hero Academia recently, and I'm not saying Chainsaw Man is worse than My Hero Academia.
No.
I'm not saying that at all, even though I'm a huge MHA fan.
Yeah.
But like the Kaminari like stance straight from the manga, like
Yeah.
it was ripped from there, and,
Yeah.
and it looked really good.
In terms of like panels, like in the chapters they adapted,
Yeah.
that was the best chapter so
Yeah.
far of what
Yeah.
has been adapted. And Chainsaw
yeah.
Man didn't do it with theirs,
Say,
which is odd.
Yeah, say what you want about Bones, but I think that they really hit the nail on the head with like those iconic like poses.
Yeah.
Like when Shigaraki, like I joke all the time on my Villain Academia arc and how it was awfully adapted, but like Shigaraki laughing and stuff like that was ripped straight from the manga.
Or him like
know?
taking off the hand and then destroying it.
and saying we'll do this is no longer necessary.
That was
Yeah.
my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's straight from the manga, like
Yeah.
that. Like they do really well. I just think that when he went, then die. I was like, well, what?
And when he pulls the cord,
Yeah.
like that's I really preferred that. And it might sound nitpicky. We might sound like a bunch of people saying
we
it
sound
was
like
better than the manga.
We sound like a bunch of dweebs.
Yeah,
but
I hate those
know.
people. Don't get me wrong. I hate people who just always do that.
I hate myself.
No, right? Am I the enemy?
Yeah.
But it might come with like we just had such high expectations, but we just like really go in depth. We like talking about this thing.
Which I mean, the best parts of Chainsaw Man aren't the fight scenes. Like those are
Yeah.
really cool and really unique. But what's really pulling us in is that intrigue. Is that
the characters, the
characters,
plot twists, the violence.
Yeah. Really, it's all really really good. And I mean, I'm gonna be really disappointed if they do stuff like this again, because there are some really really good shots, especially towards the end of part 1, that are so iconic that you're like, man, I really hope they don't screw this up.
Yeah, there's certain panels like they
not
gotta.
that they screwed it up.
No, yeah.
But like,
there's a worry.
but in
A slight,
comparison
very
to
slight.
the manga
Yeah.
right now, the manga is better. Like in terms of shots and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And we're seeing it. Like if you're saying like, well, they can't do it without CG. Mob Psycho does it without CG. They're doing it like right now. They're doing it without CG.
It's
and
like,
it
well,
looks
it's a
great.
small studio. Like, no, they got My Hero. They got like
Yeah.
My Hero is such a big series with films and all that I'm surprised that they go such a high level with Mob Psycho.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Exactly.
that was my initial worry, and I mentioned in the video that I still have a slight worry in the back of my mind because of how many projects they picked up. Because mind you, they still have Attack on Titan, they still have Jujutsu Kaisen,
Hell's Paradise.
Hell's Paradise, Vinland Saga, maybe One Punch Man. That has it wasn't one,
No, it's not one. One Punch is gonna go to Bones probably.
but they didn't confirm it yet. But
They
we
didn't
speculated Bones.
But
So, yeah.
when they finished with Mob, it
No, yeah.
just makes sense.
No, yeah,
you know?
yeah. But yeah, all those series that Mappa's been picking up,
Yeah.
it just has me worried that they did not give this show the enough attention that it deserves. So far, if it just moves forward the way it is, it'll be great.
I think
It'll be a great series. Someday.
I was never worried about Chainsaw Man. I'm more worried about other stuff. Like I'm worried about season 2 of Jujutsu. Like I know Jujutsu is probably in terms of numbers of manga sales is bigger than Chainsaw Man and probably will continue to be. But like since it's a season 2, it kind of makes me worried that they're less interested in it. I'm also very worried for Hell's Paradise.
Yeah.
Like that one I really want to be really good.
I just and this is such a specific series because I would say that this is, and I could be wrong, I could be like talking out of my ass, but this is the biggest fan base, the biggest backing of a manga before an anime come out.
Yes.
More so than Jujutsu Kaisen, I would argue.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I would say
the Jujutsu manga is big because of the anime.
Some would say it got the same treatment that Jujutsu Kaisen did right now with one episode that we're seeing. If it does, moving forward now, it would be bigger than Jujutsu Kaisen, but it depends what we see in the future, like how it adapts, how well it adapts it. Some would say, "What are y'all talking about? It's a 10 out of 10. They got this in the bag." No, yeah, I would agree. I agree. It got it right. We're just being super nitpicky, but I have those worries. I hope it continues on moving forward.
I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to think it's great. But I think that those missed opportunities to really have those manga panels
we'll keep it
come
just
to,
short of masterpiece. You know what I mean?
I think it'll just keep it like in our 9s, you know, rather than the 10s out of 10s that the manga is, you know. Which we agree with. What did you?
Openings. Let's talk. Do you want to talk about the opening?
Yeah. Do you want to? Let's talk about the opening real quick, and then let's rank our favorite because you talked.
Yeah.
You wanted to.
I just want to do a quick ranking.
Yeah.
The opening. I like the visuals more than the song.
Yeah.
Because it's just movie references.
I thought that it was gonna be like hard metal, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of punk rock.
Yeah.
You know.
It just kind of sounds like a. Like I'm probably sounding like such a like.
No, you're not.
Watch our live stream yesterday. We were literally only praising it. So now we have to talk about the. Cons,
no, yeah, we literally said that's what we'd be doing. We'd be voicing more of our nitpicks and opinions.
And like I said earlier, I'm gonna do a video. I love Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man's
so
top 10 manga for me.
Yeah, let me
top
wake
5
up.
maybe.
Yeah, let me wake up. It's awesome. Like don't.
Literally,
like,
when I was
don't
reading,
dislike.
when I was reading this thing, I was like, "What the heck is it? This is the best thing I've ever read ever."
Yeah.
And it is an absolutely
it didn't
amazing series.
get there to me, but it still was like,
Everyone
like
should read
that.
this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Literally, a guy in the manga store was saying, "Should I read this?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "I don't know. It's too long." No, it isn't.
No,
it's so
it's not.
short. Like,
Read it.
It only has 11 volumes. What are you gonna read? One Piece? Like, I was literally begging that guy, "Please read it. It's so good." But we love this series, and it's just we are coming from like of people who just love it more than a normie's perspective, and we're also coming in from a writing's perspective.
We're coming in. We're also coming in from this perspective that we kind of want it to be perfect, and if it's anywhere,
we're not gatekeeping. We just want to keep it like in the perfect.
No, we're not gatekeeping at all.
No,
we're not pushing, but we're in the sense of like we want it to be perfect. We want it to be like we read the manga and we look up and we're like,
same thing. Yeah,
you know,
we want people who watch the anime only to get the same experience that we did reading the manga.
Yeah. Like that shot of Denji jumping up and like laughing, you know, at them. Yeah. That's not in the manga. I just thought I just thought wrong. I thought he was going to be more like a rabid dog in this moment, you know. But I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, the opening, it kind of sounds like a Jujutsu Kaisen opening, right? Yeah. Like I just feel like I was just like, I'm not like, I think it's a bop and it is really good. Yeah. I just don't think it fits. Very similar kind of to the My Hero opening is that
it's a good song and I'll need to do a few more listens. I already listened to it a few times, but the visuals are the strongest point just because of wacky. No one can tell what it's going to be yet still because of how like, why are they putting a bunch of movie references? And they kind of have nothing to do with the actual show, but it just goes to show that it's like literally just showing the inspirations of Tachi Fujimoto.
Yeah, if you aren't big into spoilers, don't look too hard into it because you'll find some stuff in there.
Someone made a great point. There's like a slug thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it because it's literally a spoiler. But there is a slug in there that if you look up what that slug is or that the snail parasite is, it spoils like what happens in the show, which is which makes the opening really like low key great because they have like a bunch of small references on like characters that have big. Like
we're not talking visuals. 10 out of 10. I just didn't think the song. Like I was just like, I don't know.
It's nice. It's a good song, but it didn't hit me.
It's just when I think about Chainsaw, I think they're going more the route of like a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I thought like when you think about Chainsaw Man, I was just thinking about blood, guts, gore. You know, like blood everywhere. Like literally the screen is filled with blood, like it's hard to see because it's just blood, dirt, guts going everywhere, you know, which they have the opportunity to do. But I just don't think that it quite did what the manga
So-
did in that first chapter.
So let's say you could pick an opening that already exists for this show. What would you say would close resemble this show right now? Like, oh, I picked this one because it suits it.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with probably like a
You could go with Fire Force's Mayday.
yeah.
You
That's a
you
good one.
think That's a
The
good one?
same vibes, whether
Yeah.
you liked that opening or not. The same vibes of that.
Yeah.
Or
I'm not a metalhead at all.
No,
like
yeah.
I don't like metal, but I just thought that it would fit the series really well.
or what's another good one? Soul Eaters, if you heard it, Soul Eaters is really
Soul
good.
Eaters is a good one. Yeah,
you're totally mad. It has like a it has like it sounds more like magical, but it has like that constant rock theme with it. That's really great, but like real rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
What's another one? I'm trying to think. I was looking at
Hormia. No, I'm just kidding.
right? No,
That'd be
no.
hilarious. But no, I think I don't know. That's a good question.
But yeah, but I know I get. What
I
you're
mean,
saying.
the rumbling probably could have fit.
Yeah, that's a
I
bit
mean,
more hardcore than like what
yeah.
Chainsaw is, but I just wish there was something that like that's
Yeah.
it. Some might disagree. We might be completely in the wrong, but Attack on Titan's first opening completely gets what the
Oh my God,
the
we're
show
being
is about.
so nitpicky. Oh
I
my
know,
God.
but we
I know,
literally.
but we have to be like what
Like-
else? Like we dissected it the entire time yesterday, and we didn't praise it. Like
Yeah.
like if you're reading this or if you're listening or watching this, the pluses of Chainsaw Man,
Yeah.
and we know that we love that.
Yeah, we
like,
agree.
Like, come on, like Chainsaw Man is a 10 out of 10 story. However, just because it's a 10 out of 10 story or this episode was a 9 out of 10 doesn't save it from criticism, which is what we do. We analyze stuff. We
Like-
break it down.
Like
yeah.
I'm reading like a regular book and I have a Chainsaw Man chapter. People
Yeah.
at work like, what is that? I'm like, it's
Chainsaw Man.
It's a manga. It's Chainsaw Man. It's a manga. It's like a comic.
Yeah.
Go read it. Like it's just
Yeah.
that I
I-
want people to get into this.
I feign every week for the new chapter of Chainsaw Man. Like I love
the
I
chapter.
Love it so
The new
much.
chapter was
The new
great.
chapter was really good.
Really
yeah.
good.
It was really good.
This is we keep hitting this nail because we want people to know that we love this series. And we just want to dive deeper. We want to open our eyes and just say, yes, it's a 10 out of 10, but let's be, a bit realistic here and talk about the things that that weren't 10 out of 10s because, nothing is ever really perfect.
Yeah. Does on my anime list right now, does the first episode warrant its number 12 of all time of all animes of
No.
all time?
No. Neither.
No.
Nothing in the My Anime List top 10 anime list, at least, does it warrant.
No
like,
first episode.
Not even, not even Full Metal Alchemist, not even
No.
Bleach, not even Love Is War. Like guys, people were saying Bleach is 10 out of 10. Like so is Chainsaw Man. No, like
no
guys,
first episode deserves to shoot it up that high on the list.
maybe maybe Attack on Titans, just first episode, and we're talking about.
Well, Attack on Titan is the greatest story opening for a manga and anime of all time.
Yeah,
so.
Death Note 2 goes up
Yeah.
there, like, and whether you want to call it. I would say whether it's a 2 out of 10 show, Sword Art Online's is a 1 out of 10. Not in writing, but just like in getting into it. Like it's such a great, it's complete like great first episodes. But Chainsaw Man is 2. But we're just talking about like the very nitty gritty, like what makes the opening, what will be falling forward.
If you count Jujutsu 0 as like the first thing to come out of it, like that could be
Dude,
up there.
I prefer Zero over the entire series. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
But yeah, so we love it. That was great. It was a really, really great episode. And I'm going to be like my first ever video on my channel is going to be like dissecting it.
Watch
So
you go
just-
all in. You're like, this sucks. Like you just go even deeper.
0 out of 10. Chainsaw Man, awful.
I'm gonna hug the manga and cry in my in my closet.
Exactly. But I do have to say that I was like. I liked some of the moments that they milked. Like we talked about yesterday, like that Chainsaw Massacre kind of run, that scene.
Yeah, it's like
in,
a slasher
the
film. They're like
Yeah.
zombies are chasing him. And he's just struggling
Yeah,
to get
and he
out.
was like, and I thought that was really good, and I liked the suspense in like some of the shots of like the buildings and kind of like the building, the atmosphere of it, like a lot of good horror movies do.
Denji's voice actor in the Japanese sub is really good.
Really good.
But I feel like they hit it perfect with Makima.
Yes,
It's kind of like monotonous and like You know what I mean? Like it's
Yes.
like kind of not robotic, but like it's very elusive, but also like kind of not creepy, but you know what I mean? She's got like very monotonous, no emotion.
No,
type,
and you
type of
can
girl. Like,
like
you know?
I'm interested to see like what happens later on,
Yeah.
which we can't talk about, but I'm interested to see how that voice changes,
Yeah.
you know, and how that voice becomes, you know, because we listen to that voice and we're like, oh, Japanese waifu, you know.
No. But they're literally, yeah. Some might say, "Oh, it's a sub. Of course, it's gonna be perfect." No, even like sometimes you have to like specifically like, does it fit the character or not? Is it like 100% great?
Listen, man, like, never mind.
No,
I
no,
don't,
okay,
I
no,
don't want to
wait.
start a war.
We'll just call. I'll cut it out if it's too topical.
Listen, Luffy sub sounds like an old woman. I said it. I
No,
said it.
I agree
There
with
you
you.
go. So does
I
Goku.
would argue that the Goku sub does not match the character at all, and the
No.
dub absolutely hits it.
Yeah.
As a Dragon Ball, I will never ever watch show fan. The dub is just so great. The actor for Goku, Sean Schemmel, is
Yes.
Goku blood and skin. Like he
Yes,
is absolutely
he is.
him.
But
He
also,
embodies him. Like,
Masako Naizawa, she is as well. She's an amazing
Oh, yeah.
voice actor. But she is the best young Goku. Like there's no competition there. And she's a really good Gohan as well. But I just don't think this absolute like mountain of a man, you know, is supposed to sound like that. But
Yeah.
I mean,
and same with Luffy. Like as a teenage boy, once
Yeah.
the actress gets older, you can't
but
like.
yeah, but I like that I like that he is that they stay, you know, loyal to the voice
Yeah. actors.
But still, I just don't think it
What we mean to
fits.
say is that as great as some actors and as great as a performance they give, sometimes the casting, like, yes,
Yeah.
it makes it all the more perfect
Yeah.
than like all the legacy those other actors have.
And of course, like hearing Luffy's voice actor say like say these things from the manga is great. Like I think Luffy's voice actor in the sub is, I think she's one of the best voice actresses on the planet. Without a doubt.
When I watch I usually am a dub defender and prefer the dubs with most anime, but I always watch the sub with One Piece.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's just I can't
It's-
I don't vibe
it's
with
goated,
this dub,
dude.
and the sub is just you know.
The dub is very 90s anime kind of
Yeah.
feel, which I'm not a big fan of.
All
But,
this to
yeah.
say that the sub is good, not just because it's a
Yeah.
sub, because they hit the nail on
Yes.
the heads with these actors.
I just don't
got
don't
it
want
right.
people to think that the subs are perfect, you know.
No, yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Because dubs are actually sometimes really good at matching the character voices, but sometimes the execution is where they fail. Where the sub is almost always good at execution.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sometimes they don't match the voices correctly. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah.
So let's just quickly rank. I mean, after a few listens of all the openings, what we're going to include is the Spy Family opening, My Hero's opening,
Yes.
not Dragon Ball, Mob Psycho's opening,
Yes.
Chainsaw Man's, and Blue Locks. We're gonna exclude the ones that we don't, because we can't. I never saw Bleach's opening, and
No.
if you want to include your own list, if you want to make your own list, I'll probably give it a listen and voice my opinion next week.
There will be a time where me and Edgar go all in on Bleach, and we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. With that.
But we'll probably next week. I'll just listen to the opening and just say my opinion next week.
Yeah,
so
sure.
just so not excluded out. We're not excluding it for that
Yeah.
reason. I want to include it. We're not watching Bleach because we clearly don't watch Bleach because we're not in there yet. But I would say, you want me to go first?
Do we even need to say which one is number one?
Mob Psychos.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
come on.
I said it. I'll say it 1,000 times. I'll say it again
Come
on the
on.
first listening. Unlike any other openings, it never happens. It always takes a few listens to get into. But this opening, I heard it on the first go. Banger, 100%. Visuals, matches the vibes, matches the tone in the song, in the visuals.
And it's kind of unfair to the other people on this list, because it's also like Mob's choir is made specifically for Mob, you know.
Just like Link to Horizon fits Attack on Titan so
exactly.
much.
Like as many people as good as the rumbling is, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Link to Horizon still would have been better. So I heard somebody say the rumbling is the best opening that Attack on Titan could have made for this part of the story, and I'm like, false, completely untrue.
Great
Walk out.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one doesn't match it through and through all the way, visual, songs, lyrics, everything. Mom hits the nail on that. This opening specifically, in terms of like comparing it to the other openings we're comparing it to. This one,
just like how what's the one Breakout Syndrome
Fly
is
High.
for Haikyuu.
Just like like the vibes, the visuals, the lyrics, the doesn't match it all.
And when the show finds that band, I just love like keep bringing it back. You know, like don't feel bad about bringing the same band in, because it's just like, you know, like it's also like, I feel like One Piece suffers from that. There are so many mediocre One Piece openings, but there are just some that are like banger. Like the first one is a banger, you know. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
No,
Go with your list.
So let's do both and see what we got. First is Mob Psycho for me.
One and only one.
And second is, I don't know where, surprisingly, is Spy Families. It's really, really good.
Ooh.
Bump Chickens just hits that vibe. It's wholesome. The visuals are like better than any other show. The visual for that opening is better than any animation for any show that is airing right now. For like first episode wise, it's just so clean. Everything about it is so.
Looks really good though.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, I did rank it higher, but I'm just saying like clean in terms of cleanliness.
Because
Mob Psycho's going for a different thing. It's like all distorted and like, it fits. You know what I mean? Like but the opening is just. I can just listen to it on my way to work all the time. It is just absolutely great, fantastic, it doesn't do so much.
Is it the same band who did the first one?
No.
No. Okay.
That's a great one too. And
that one's a really good
and
one.
I wouldn't, and it is not. I wouldn't say it's better than the first. It's just compared to the other openings we heard this season.
I think it's much worse than the first. I really, really like the first.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's the best of the like entire, like, you know what I mean. But compared to like the songs we're comparing it to, it's the second best.
Yeah.
In terms of like the song and in the just listen to it a few times. If you would,
I'll listen to it right now.
Because it's just it just gets you. I don't know. It makes you smile. It makes you like jam out.
Do you guys want to hear it a little bit? Okay, I've taken it back away.
Yeah, because we can't. Yeah. But yeah, that's my stance. Do you have a second? What's your second favorite? Or let me just list off mine. Let me just list off all of them.
Sorry, I'm big into this song right now.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
My third favorite is Blue Locks. Actually, no, sorry, Chainsaw Man's. I don't know why I said Blue Lock. I like Blue Lock, but Chainsaw Man, as much as as much as we said that the song really doesn't match the vibe, it's still a great song, and it'll probably take a lot more listens to for me to settle on it as much as these other songs would. But right now, this song is just the visuals is what's carrying the opening, and the song is a great song. It is not a bad song, but I just felt like it didn't 100 match with what the story is telling. But that is third. Chainsaw Man. For my fourth that I would rank, I'd give it to Blue Lock. It's a good song. It's kind of odd. It doesn't really like 100. It feels like it's kind of it changes like time measures, like it changes beats, like it goes fast and then it goes slow or some point. I don't know. It's kind of weird, and I need to listen to it a few more times again. And it is not a bad opening, but the visuals are great. But I'm like, I don't know. It kind of felt okay to me. Like the opening, I kind of expected something more, like because I compared it to like Fly High. Obviously, the first Haikyuu opening, Wild Grade, did not hit it for me, but it is still like, yeah, I can vibe with it. But I
really like the first opening for Haikyuu. I love every opening except the last one for Haikyuu.
Yeah,
the last one was awful.
But I had like Fly High expectations in terms of sports anime.
Oh yeah.
It did match the vibe. Blue Locks, they did match the tone of the show, but it did not like feel like a good song.
Well, in terms of like matching the show, it's really hard to find anything that is on the same level as Fly High, you know, because it just.
But you don't have to always hit that 10 out of 10.
No,
like
you don't.
Fire Force matches it fairly well. Sword and Lines, they always hit it fairly well. Death Note, the 100% matches it very well. Jujutsu Kaisen does it in a very unique way. It does not match the battle action, but it hits that very like, I don't know, that modern vibe. Like they really hit it. But yeah, that's why I would rank Blue Lock, and then I don't think I'm missing anything else other than
My Hero. Yeah.
My Hero. I think they did something really good that I'm surprised they haven't done with the openings, the comics, and like the really straight out of the panel. They really.
I don't know if I said this last week, but just switch the animation style to it. I don't care.
No, yeah.
You know,
It
looks great.
The visuals are absolutely great, but I think it is probably my least favorite opening of My Hero ever. And I really don't like the second opening for the sports festival. Some people might call it their favorite.
That one?
I just really. No, sorry. The sports festival, not the school festival.
Oh, the sports festival.
Yeah.
You mean the
No, that's the third opening. I'm talking about the
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's favorite.
I know, but I really don't like it.
I know.
But even then, I still think I still like his voice. I don't know. But even then, I don't like this. I don't hate this one. I don't like it. I dislike it even more. Like I think the second opening is better than this one. It just doesn't match doesn't match the tone. It feels all jambled. You can't tell when the chorus is. And I don't know.
It's a bit weird.
It has to at least match the visuals that is matching the opening itself, and it doesn't do that. Like
I actually think that a lot of people sleep on the the one that happened in the school festival.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people sleep on that one because that one it's meant supposed to be fun, but then it has that moments of dun 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 that's more serious, and that like comes from the episodes with Endeavor.
Yeah,
and
weak
the
opening or
episodes,
not,
you know?
it definitely like
hits the
it matches
vibe.
everything, and it's a good song.
I mean, the best opening, the last good opening we got was
not Off Future.
Blue
Blue Encounter's fourth season first.
Yeah,
opening.
I mean that one broke my neck like when it came out because I rocked so hard to it. Remember?
Yeah.
It didn't break my neck, but I couldn't sleep right for 2 weeks
Yeah.
because I hurt my neck so bad. Yeah.
And the first opening for season 5 with the clash between Class A and B, definitely. While it's a really good song and it matches the vibe, and every opening.
It's a good song. I think that one might be the worst for me though, because the visuals are really bad. Like I know, I understand the song is good, the song is okay, but also I take it more into account of the visuals. The visuals for that are one of the worst. They are
the worst.
Undoubtedly the worst.
Not the following the first the
that
one after
just
that?
It just shows the students like talking to each other, and it's like they're stretching, which what has already been done better in the second opening, like when they were stretching preparing for the sports
but
festival.
I wouldn't classify it just because of that. I wouldn't put it in the last one.
Well, I don't think it's bad. Like I don't. I think.
But
all
out
of
of
these
all
are
my
fairly
heroes, I
good.
would not put it at the last opening. I really wouldn't. I would put this one at least. If you feel like that with this one, I would say the same, but vice versa. The song just makes it that bad to where it puts it at the last of the list.
I know.
But would you agree in terms of openings this season, anime openings? Would you put this one at last? Yeah, before we really talk about my hero, let's just we said the first one, Mob Psycho, but what's your second favorite?
I think my second is Chainsaw Man. I know I kind of pooped on it earlier, like the song how it didn't fit, but I do think the visuals is just I think it's really good.
I put it as my third, so
and
I agree.
And the song is a boogie. The third is definitely Spy Family. After re-listening to it, I watched it the first time. I was like, gross, and I was like,
do it
I
again.
hate this.
It'll really grow on you.
I was like, I hate this. I was genuinely like, I don't like this. This is trash.
Yeah.
But then I listened to it just a couple seconds ago, and Edgar was like, it's a bop, and I was like,
They'll sneak up on you.
Sometimes I also
good.
need to. Sometimes I also need to listen to a opening in headphones before it gets really good. Like I didn't think "Thank You" from the second opening of Demon Slayer. I didn't think that was good until I listened to it.
For me, that was like first listening. I need to listen to all of it. You know what I mean?
First listen, I was like, I don't know if this really. And I listened to it, and afterwards I was like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Like I liked it so much that I wanted that theme like to be originally our intro for the Manga Monday show.
We might have just run into trouble with that, but
oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's a good song. But yeah, third, Spy Families. What's your fourth? It's between Blue Lock and My Hero, basically.
At first, I actually kind of had the opposite of Blue Lock. Like I really, really liked it at first, and then I listened to it a couple of times, and I was like, it feels like the song. It feels like the song is about to go somewhere, but then it just goes. you know, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
pulls back
yeah.
a little bit, and I'm like, can I
Yeah.
can I bop my head to this,
I've
or is
heard-
this something that I'm like, you
I've
know?
heard each song multiple times, but Blue Lock I've only heard like 3 times, so I need to hear it again to get a.
The
final-
visuals are really good.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you that My Hero is the worst.
You probably don't think it's as bad
Only-
as mine.
Yes,
Yeah.
only because it doesn't fit what's going on in the story.
Yeah.
Right? Only because it doesn't fit, and this also puts major pressure because even like the second episode that came out, Dr. Garaki, like he was like, my Nomus are gonna take over the world, and it was really, really dark, and then it went and you were like, okay, this doesn't fit at all. You know, you were like, this doesn't work.
And not in the opposite way where it's like Jujutsu Kaisen's like opening and
Yeah.
then they're the vibes.
But
with that.
Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't, you put that anywhere, it's a boogie, you know?
No,
like,
that's what I mean.
like
It's
you
not.
rock
It's
to
not like
it.
that. So,
Yeah.
but in this case, best arc deserves the best opening.
It does. It 100% does. And we've already seen that. This is touting up to be probably the best anime arc of, because already we've had some bangers like with Mirako and Kaminari, and if they animate those well, like what's gonna happen when Shigaraki wakes up? You know,
Yeah.
God, it's gonna be really good.
So, and I was just like really with those expectations, I was just like really let down in terms of a song. Like I was looking forward to them. I always look forward to every My Hero opening.
I wasn't too let down. I was more worried that this puts pressure on Bones to make the best opening in the next core. Like you have to, like you have put the pressure on now. And if it is anything less than the best opening, people are already trashing on My Hero Academia, right? Because of
Unfairly
all,
so, because I love My Hero.
Extremely unfairly.
Yeah.
Arguably these first 2 episodes might have been like if we were to rank the shows, it might be up there with Chainsaw Man and Mob, you know? Like Blue Lock's episode was still very good, but I mean,
I would
there was
rank
still
Blue
some
Lock a
parts-
bit higher, but that's my personal take on it.
I don't think the
And Spy
first
Family.
episode of Blue Lock was better than the first 2 episodes of My Hero. No
I
way. No
100%
way.
disagree. I disagree.
No
Like,
way, dude.
as great as My Hero was,
Dude, the things that are happening in My Hero, when Blue Lock gets there, I'm sure it will get to that point.
yeah, but Blue Lock
it's
was
like,
just such a great
but
opening.
it's like comparing an infant to somebody who already has that meat and bones. I just don't think
it's literally a sport anime, and whether you like it or not, if it's just doing a better job as a first episode of a new season first or not, fifth or not. It is but you're comparing like a war arc to a soccer anime.
That's what I'm saying. Is
so
that, like,
the
you
fact that
can't-
it's that great just goes to show, from an episode standpoint, it's just doing a better job entertaining you, animation wise as well. You gotta be a little bit biased. You're a huge My Hero fan, dude.
I think you're being a little bit biased here in Blue Lock, because I know you.
I like Blue
know-
Lock, but it's not my top 10 manga.
Oh,
My
yeah.
Heroes is yours.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But
Not that you're wrong, but
that's
I'm
in
just
terms of enjoyment. I just think that it's like, I think that
I'm not saying that either.
I was absolutely like blown away and impressed. And to be honest, Blue Lock, dude, it caught me lacking a little bit there, especially with like Ego speech. I was a little bit like, come on.
What? I picked on that episode more than you did.
I'm not joking. Like I like it. Oh Jesus!
What
what
was
the hell
that?
just happened?
What opening was that?
I don't know. It was Mobs. Screw it. Let's just dance to this.
We're gonna cover.
No, I'm sorry. Anyway, but no, I thought it was all great, and I think all of these episodes have been really good. But I just think that, like, I was just absolutely blown away, especially with how many people have been clowning on My Hero recently. Like, I just think that Kaminari scene, I think it was
If it was just the second,
really well
if it was
done.
just the second episode, yes, that episode is better than Blue Lock's first episode. But I just don't think that both of them are like as good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already forgot what happened in the first episode.
No, that's
so
what I'm
that might
saying.
be,
Yeah, if you
know.
include both, no. Second episode just by alone, yes.
Yeah. But also if you're just counting that game of tag, yeah, it's so much better. But I was severely disappointed by that first opening game.
No, I mean it's just exposition. Oh no, yeah, you're right. I mean it didn't
Yeah.
get the intensity it got.
Yeah.
But that was just again our opinion. I just thought that between what both episodes.
Yeah.
I thought Blue Lock's was better, but I do agree the second episode of My Hero was better than Blue Lock's first.
I think Spy Family's great, but if we're probably gonna rank all of them, like in terms of like enjoyment, I would say that's probably the least, right? You think? I enjoy it.
but from a completely different point, they're going for different things.
Yeah, exactly.
I just sat back and relaxed and like I laughed and like I enjoyed it. You know, it doesn't hit you in the moment, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it will this season. I mean, this core, it'll get there. But yeah,
it's definitely going to be the funniest one, probably.
I know. But next episode of My Hero,
I forgot what happens in the next episode. We can talk about it.
I mean, we'll talk about it afterwards because we don't want to spoil too much.
All I know are the pivotal things. I'll try to guess it, but I completely forgot.
I didn't think what's happening next episode. I didn't think it happened this soon. This is why we talked about it before, and we were like, God, every episode has a possibility this season of being a banger.
Yeah.
And Bones, be careful with this, man. You know, because if you don't get this, like this. This could spiral out of control for My Hero, especially since Horikoshi has been slipping up a little bit in the manga.
Yeah.
In ways that are less.
You'll
than
give
enjoyable.
more ammunition to the haters, like.
Yes, and I mean they already have so much ammunition, like.
Especially like with
and the site that I read it on, everybody in the comments is like, time for mid Hero Academia. You know, like
even I just hate when people do that. Even as much as I love Chainsaw Man and Blue Lock, whenever like. As much as I loved it, whenever I said no, Chainsaw's better, I'm like, shut up, man. Like, cause shut up.
Yeah.
I'm on the hype, but shut the hell up. Like you know what I mean? I always, no matter what, even if it's my favorite series of all time, when you go on another comment on another page talking about a complete different anime, and you said, oh, this is better. I'm like, who asked? Like, who the hell asked, man? Yeah. But whatever.
Well, we went on a little bit of a rant there, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah,
it is what it is.
So we're really excited with the new stuff coming out, and
like we said, we're not gonna be talking about every episode. You know what I mean? But you know, it's most likely to happen just because of how much we love these series.
Skypiea next week, so that you don't forget what
Sure.
happens.
Yeah.
Because
I can't imagine anything else big happening topic wise. We'll probably talk about very briefly a few episodes. Much news won't happen. And then Skypiea, it's a short arc. We'll probably take an hour or less to talk about it, especially considering that we'll probably just be complaining about it. Not complaining. At least I will, because I'm the one reading it.
I will be praising the beginning and the ending.
Me too.
I will be looking to you to fill in the gaps.
Spoiler alert, me too. But then again, I don't know why I forget so many things. It just takes so long for me to read these things.
I'll watch some episodes from the anime too to catch up.
But yeah, look forward to that Skypiea arc saga. Technically, we'll be diving into and reviewing, and the following episodes of each anime we just talked about. We'll be talking about in the weeks to come, and we'll see you guys in the next episode on
Manga
Monday
Show.
Bye.
Yeah.